Hello, I am Talking Owl, the storyteller. Today's story is about a lost statue and the story behind the name of the month January. The Lost Statue. 12-year-old Ethan sat by the window of his grandfather's countryside home, watching the bare trees sway in the winter breeze. The house was quiet, nestled at the edge of a dense forest. It had been his home for the past year, ever since his parents' plane had crashed while returning from an archaeological expedition. The loss had been sudden and brutal, leaving Ethan with a deep loneliness that even his kind and gentle grandfather struggled to ease. Ethan's grandfather, a retired history teacher, did his best to fill the boy's days with meaning. Mornings were spent discussing history, afternoons on long walks through the countryside, and evenings reading stories by the fire. Despite the warmth of these moments, Ethan often felt the absence of his parents. His mother's laughter, his father's quiet but enthusiastic explanations of ancient civilizations, those were memories he clung to during the nights when the silence felt unbearable. One of Ethan's favorite places was the overgrown garden behind the house. It had been neglected for years, its bushes and trees growing wild. His grandfather had given him free rein to explore it, and Ethan had claimed it as his sanctuary. Here, amidst the tangled vines and crumbling stone walls, he could imagine his parents were still with him. He would recall how they had taken him on small adventures, pointing out ancient ruins during family vacations or teaching him how to sketch artifacts. It was in this garden, just a few days before the new year, that Ethan stumbled upon something extraordinary. While brushing aside some frost-covered leaves, his foot struck a small object. Kneeling down, he unearthed a bronze statue, tarnished and weathered but still intact. It depicted a figure with two faces, one serene and forward-looking, the other contemplative and gazing backward. Ethan's heart raced with curiosity. This wasn't just any statue. It felt important, ancient, and mysterious. He rushed inside to show his discovery to his grandfather. The elderly man, seated in his favorite armchair with a book in hand, adjusted his glasses and examined the statue carefully. "This," he said after a long pause, "is Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and endings. Your father spoke about him often in his research." Ethan's father had been passionate about Roman history, and his journals were still stored in the study. Together, Ethan and his grandfather pulled out a leather-bound notebook and began searching for clues about the statue. As they read, his grandfather shared what he knew about Janus. The god Janus was one of the most revered deities in Roman mythology. He symbolized transitions, serving as the god of doorways, gates, beginnings, and endings. Represented with two faces, one looking back at the past and the other forward to the future, he embodied the duality of time and the passage of life. Unlike most Roman gods, Janus had no Greek counterpart, marking him as a uniquely Roman figure. The month of January is named in his honor, as it stands at the threshold of the old year and the new. Temples dedicated to Janus had doors at either end, open during times of war and closed in peace, underscoring his role as a guardian of transitions. Ethan listened, captivated. He remembered his father once explaining the significance of Janus during a family trip to Rome. The memory brought a pang of sadness but also a comforting connection to his parents' legacy. "Do you think this statue belonged to him?" Ethan asked quietly. His grandfather shook his head. "No, Ethan, this is far older. It's likely a stolen artifact." They decided to contact the local authorities. Within hours, police arrived and confirmed that the statue matched the description of an artifact stolen from a nearby museum years ago. Ethan and his grandfather were thanked profusely when the statue was returned. The museum curator even promised to mention them in the artifact's display. That evening, as the snow began to fall outside, Ethan sat by the fire with his grandfather. The warmth of the flames and the gentle hum of his grandfather's voice filled the room. "Janus teaches us an important lesson," his grandfather said. "The past and the future are connected. We can't have one without the other. Your parents left behind knowledge and memories. It's up to you to carry them forward while embracing what lies ahead." Ethan nodded, feeling a small yet profound shift within himself. For the first time in months, he didn't feel quite so lost. The discovery of the statue reminded him that even in moments of loss, there is always the promise of renewal, a new beginning waiting just beyond the horizon. Moral of the story: life is a journey of transitions. By honoring the past and embracing the future, we find strength to navigate change and hope for renewal. So look forward to a bright future but also look into the past and learn from it.
If you like the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.